There's another video from the 17th of November, the last weather meeting of the day, Newcastle. Mate, it's such a frustrating meeting for me. I mean, I do remember had a nice Trixie, Mr. Hampstead, Aquam, and Bergerac. So frustrating. This track, I honestly can never call, especially sprints. So I'm surprised that Bergerac went in, but I don't know. It's just some places you're lucky, some you're not, and I think Newcastle for me is a track I try to stay away from as much as possible, you know. But these two, Maidan and Mr. Hampstead, on profile, pedigree, trainers, informed trainers, you know, they both put it up to each other. That was an interesting maiden, you know. I think they look two horses who could be turf horses next year, you know, not just for the winter. I thought they put up a good race against each other. Dark Calm and Dala. Yeah, that involvement, I mean, anyone backing that at 4-9, I was a bit worried about that because, yeah, I mean, that red car run, it weren't great, you know. Let me see, here we go. I think just looking at the times, I mean, instantly you can see Bergerac. I think that's going to stand out, you know. He was in a grade where he should win like that. He was dropped in grade and he'd previously been pipped. I think, was it Max Fantasy? He literally come from nowhere. And how many times is that going to happen? Not many horses can do that. And so he was unlucky. And going into this, he should have won. And he did, you know. So I was expecting him to run a pretty decent time here. And it looks like it. Bobby Shafto could be decent. Darkoon. I think Darkoon might show up pretty well here. That looks an okay time for a maiden. I think he has quite a good pedigree, you know. The good thing about Newcastle is some of these 10 and 12 furlong handicaps do throw up a lot of well handicapped horses. You know, it's a good place, especially a dual purpose trainer can really get a couple of wins here in the winter. $56.98. Okay. Bobby Shafto. I mean, this has been around a few blocks, old Bobby. Just about one from a 50-1 shot. Highway Grey. He's turned a little bit of a corner recently. Maidan. And these are 2-year-olds, I mean. Cram. I mean, he's done well off of that weight. You know, he quickened up well. I don't think they went fast either. So he's shown a good turn of foot there. I don't think that'd be the last time he wins as well. 135.85. Darcom. Six. Indala again. That was a bit of a trappy race. So 2-year-old 5 final 47. Yeah, big Bergerac stand out there, 87.44. Class 3. On the verge of maybe a class 2 even, you know. That's a pretty good time. Bobby Shafto run to around 64. Oh, 1.2. 74.74. Again, that's a class 5 time. Yeah. I mean, he'll do well to win a class 4, I think. 68. Both of them pulled well clear. I mean, I know the time isn't huge, but I've always said, look, I normally judge a 2-year-old on its like 3rd run, or any horse really, like a 3-year-old at least. They should show some sort of promise, especially out of a big yard, right? So this is no way an assessment of their full potential at 74, you know. At this time, you're running these sort of times, you know, in your first run, you probably expect an experienced 74 horse to run like 132.59 for 10 furlongs, you know. And that for a 2-year-old to go 10 furlongs in November, they're doing well. So I like both of them, to be honest. It is hard to judge on video size and scope, but when they're running, you could tell they're 2 decent horses. Like once he got the railway, I thought that was it. You're home and hose, and then it's refreshing to see, you know, from a long way out, 1.5 furlongs, both of them going. He comes back up sides, Mr. Hampstead. But yeah, the winner's just too good, you know. You look at Neswar. Yeah, she was a proper horse. And then Ferdouz. Be interesting to see the sectionals on that, actually. Yeah, that's a slow start. Slow, slow. Yeah, it's turned into a sprint. It's and the good horses will come out on top in that scenario, and they have. Be interesting to see next time out where they go. But two smart horses, I think. Aquam 87. Hey, 6 lengths quicker than his par. The majority of that, I think, comes down to the amount of weight he's carried on the day, really. Yeah, 87, 82, 75, 81, 83. Okay, the middle of it, they've done nothing but sleep. You'd expect that for a 2 mile race, Look at Magic's had it easy out in front then. Again, another sprint finish. You get to the 2 furlong pole and there's 2 lengths between the whole field, I think in this scenario, if you're looking at a situation like this, it's horses who are probably a bit wider and they're quickening, or maybe horses that have met traffic in running, and then they're running those sort of times in the finish. So I think Valley of Flowers has had to come a little bit wider, So not exactly quickly on a true line, so to speak. I would say she is potentially one to take out of the race. Yeah. Maybe Sarson's Risk stepping up in trip. Yeah. But again, I think the winner will come in. I think Valley of Flowers. I know she won about 10 lengths before. 4 lengths, all right. I don't think that's the end of her winning. I think she's worth another consideration here. Bergerac, 87.44. Like I said, class 3 time. He was racing in class 4 here, so a lot lower than where he should be. 7 lengths quicker than his par. Run to mark of 92. Yeah, because you can see typically when you get a horse that's just dropped in class like this, like we saw Arufa recently, the rest of the field have probably run close to their marks, So you probably only really want to take the winner out of these. Strong Johnson. Yeah, he's done alright in a class 2. Next time out. For low weight. Probably had a good draw there. No. He's done well. Yeah, I mean, it's worth looking at the sectionals again. Just from memory, I remember he just bagged the rail, Tom Eves, and that was it. I do remember Brooklyn Nine-Nine having a bit of trouble in running, but at Newcastle, it's common, you know. He hasn't even gone for him here. Yeah, I think Brooklyn Nine-Nine would have been a lot closer, to be fair. He's just had to sit for the last furlong, and if you was on him, you'd be absolutely throwing your TV out the window. I mean, just no gap whatsoever. When there is one, he does pick up, but you just can't take the risk, you know, when it's that tight. So I think he could be worth another go, especially when it's in a good time like this, right? It's not a poor time. He could have definitely been a lot closer. Yeah, they've gone a real good pace. He would have definitely run another sub 12-second furlong for sure. For sure. I think we take the winner out and in 79. He hasn't been able to run for a furlong. He's close to his mark, you know. Pretty decent. I guess Digital, he was up close with the leader. But I think they're probably the two you really want to take out from that. I mean, I wouldn't go mad with Bergerac, but it will be a winner again soon. Darkoon. 79.87. I mean, class 4 time, if you round it up, an 80 class 4 time on a maiden's not too bad. Darkoon could be useful. From memory, I know he fought back in a good freeway photo. He showed good resolution there, to be fair. Yeah, I mean, he's involvement's probably an 80. Handicap has gone 91. I think he's nowhere near a 90 horse, that's for sure. El Zood. He was a bit green on the day. El Zood's hit the front here. I mean, Darkoon's come back like he would probably enjoy a mile, you know. Maybe even further. I mean, he's related to Labib, and he was a proper good 10 furlong horse, you know, 10, 12 furlong. He was good handicapper. I mean, so he might be just a longer term project, this horse, you know. He's probably worth following, I think. He's come out of that Newmarket race really well. Soft ground, green. to win like that, I think that's pretty impressive. You know, he looks a good horse, and look, I like this sub 12 here, and he's backed it up again, pretty close. 11.73, 11.8. And to be fair, El Zood, you know, on debut, he just looks a bit more of a speedier type, El Zood, I think. Especially being by Kingman. He's going to win races for sure, you know. Especially putting up that sort of effort on debut. But you know he's going to be like a 1 to 3 shot next time out, which is pointless, you know. It's tempting to follow, but you just know the price of them. Godston, the Mactoon family, it's just not worth it. Indalo. I did remember this having a pretty useful pedigree. Indalo. 73, 96, 74. 74. Again, that's run to 74 on debut. That's really underperformed. Welcome Dream. That should have won. I guess favourite as well. They're probably expecting a lot better from that. 10 dimes. Slow. They must have absolutely crawled for that beginning race, 1687. What did it go in the previous race? I mean, like almost a second slower. Because look at it. This could be a pretty useful horse, to be fair. I mean, given the actual start was slow, there's no like stop. She's not coming out of this at all. She's from the 5 furlong mark, sub 12, sub 12, sub 12, even quickening here. Yeah, the start of the race is where it's turned into a sprint. But then you'd have to be surprised with the Kevin Ryan horse out in front of this soft lead. He hasn't really gone on to win. 10 dimes again, another newcomer. Godston newcomer. Here she goes. She's a little shake of the reins. She's had to come wide as well. Really wide. Wow. I wouldn't say she was the winner from there, that's for sure. She's really put her head down to win. Phoenix of Spain. The Empress. Oh wow, that's quite a strong pedigree. Well, Italian. Oh, it's a colt. I think, yeah, I was quite impressed with that. Typically, you'd expect a horse in those circumstances to like run like an 11.5, then an 11.4, and then back out to a 12-second final furlong. Really, but he's wound it up pretty early on, and that was impressive. 10 dimes again at Gosden Horse. No value in backing these. I mean, if you do back short prizes, then you're good. But that was a decent effort as well. I think I'll follow that. More Cyber. I did have a feeling this would run well. I thought his Newmarket run was decent, and in this sort of grade, I was expecting that to run well. 61, 44, 55. I mean, that looks like another slow race. And it's a real slow time. 7 furlong race. And he was out in front. Yeah, no one wants to go forward here, do they? Yeah, he's been given a race. And then there's Johnson Horse. Was that Johnson Horse? Nick it. Again, look, you come into the 2 furlong pole. You got a length and a half, 2 lengths between the whole field. The Haggis Horse caught a bit of trouble in running. The grey looks interesting coming out here. Yeah, I think that Haggis Horse on another day wins that for sure. The grey looks like a bit of a whippet, probably the pocket. That should be quick. So if they went 16.87, it must be a 17-second to start the race at least. $12.38. I mean, if you want to follow one, I'd say Fariha for sure. Well, I'll check what a price she'll be next time out, but maybe up in trip potentially. Mart for Dylan Cunha, 78. Oh, 6 cents quicker than his par. Decent. 78. 78.07. Hey, that's 78.07 is 2 lengths off a class 4, and we're looking at a class 6 race here. This could be a bit of a decent race. You go back to gloves, 74. He's only rated 63, 63, 75. The whole field. Way to do. This will tell us something. Torvar. Hey, Torvar's gone in. And he was well back. Okay. It's a shame we've missed that. But I think we're looking at a pretty good race here. What stalls are coming out on 1? Not ideal. Really not ideal. Well, hey, he's won that position pretty easy. And Torvar, this is one that's come out and won since. Looks like they're pushing on now. To be fair, there's not much that has really changed, you know, in the running order. I think they've gone. They must have gone pretty hard and stayed on. Yeah, what's this? Ammo racing horse. Maybe the ammo racing horse. Because when you're looking at a handicap time like this, that is quite good amongst the whole field, you'd really want to keep your options open into taking future horses out of it, you know. Had an eye on one here coming out wide. You got the ammo racing that could have been a bit closer. This one coming wide. I'm not sure who that is. And even further wider here off the back. Yeah, I think these two have gone pretty hard early on. You'd expect something else to come out of the pack really and challenge them. That could have been Torvar, who met trouble in running, but I think a sprinter that can run hard and early like that in the UK, you got races really that you can really, especially look, he's won at Lingfield. That's what I was thinking. Somewhere like Lingfield, you probably pick up a few races. He's run alright. He stayed there. You know, they've gone hard and he stayed. You can't ask more from a sprinter. I thought Pinpoint at 40-1 was interesting. Coming wide like that. But then Ewan Williams, BJ McDonald. He caught trouble in running. And Gloves today runs at Southall. Over 7 furlong, okay. Oh, 6 favourite Billy Loughnane, yeah. I think that's going to be a winner for sure, especially in Class 6. And you're looking at a horse that's a field that's pretty much on the verge of they are Class 5 and looking at maybe Class 4, some of the good ones coming out. I think this could be a good form line between now, maybe December, first few weeks of December. That looks pretty useful. Yeah, that's when they took each other on. 1075. Yeah, you think Pinpoint, who's quickened that wide, about 2 furlong out, definitely one to follow. Yeah, I think we'll see a few winners out of that, which looks like a good little meeting. Okay, thank you for your time, and we'll get tomorrow's meetings up and done. Cheers, bye.